And joining us right now on Halftime is Billy King from Nashville Sports Radio. Bill, I just took a little liberty there because on your Twitter it says, close friends call me Billy. And I thought maybe after 3.5 years I might be able to go in that direction. Is it okay if I call you Billy, or are we sticking with Bill?
It's a term of endearment. I like it. It's all good.
Okay. All right, great. All right.
I got a little nervous for you there, Phil.
Well, yeah, because you know, I didn't warn you that I might be breaking that nickname out there for a moment. You never know with some people. But
you know what? A quick 10-second story. I was always Billy. I got into this business, and it just morphed into Bill. I didn't ask for it. It just happened.
Didn't that happen to you, Matty?
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, he was Matt, and he just got the thing Matty, and it's stuck ever since. So I guess
there you go.
Certain things you just can't do about those every once in a while. All right, I remember a couple years ago, and this was before the Mac Jones season, in which he becomes the future quarterback for the New England Patriots, and you thought that Bryce Young will be the guy that would step into the role. But now, I mean, this year, with the season that he's had and what we saw him do, heck, against Arkansas, the final drive against Auburn, and then that performance against Georgia in the SEC championship game, that was a Heisman clincher if I ever saw one, don't you think?
I think he clinched it in the Auburn game at the end on that long drive. Now, if he'd have had a bad game against Georgia, that would have been erased. That happened the year that I was voting between Mark Ingram and Colt McCoy. I had Colt McCoy ahead going into the championship weekend, and then he had a bad game against Nebraska, and Mark Ingram had a hero game against Florida. So I flipped him late like that. But, yeah, Bryce Young is way out in front.
So let me ask you the way that you approach voting for the Heisman in your mind, because there are some positions that you can go off statistics. I just read a bunch of them off to Drew last segment, reasons why Matt Corral did not belong in New York while the other three quarterbacks did. But that's quarterback, man. That's a position that's so statistically based. There are other positions you just can't do that with. And even with Aiden Hutchinson and the statistics that he's got, sacks, tackles for loss, same with Will Anderson, there's just a little bit different approach if you're looking at defensive players. My thing is, why is Anderson not in New York City? Do you think he belongs there?
Probably, yeah. And that same year, I had Ndamukong Suh in my top three, and deservedly so, the way he played. That's really, think about that. That was 2009. That's the last time Nebraska's played defense. I mean, that's literally the last time they've busted a grape on defense. Yeah, I mean, Will Anderson ought to be there. You could say Aiden Hutchinson and Will Anderson do their jobs as good, if not better, than anybody else in college football does their job at any position.
All right, now how about the best coach in the game? Nick Saban clearly outcoached Kirby Smart in the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
You know, we hit on so often it's Saban versus assistants and everything like that, but it's really, different matchup. He got Smart, man. Smart looked like a coach who hadn't trailed all season, and Nick Saban looked like a coach that had to make adjustments here and there throughout the season. And, I mean, it was obvious the approach that Saban took was just the best approach possible.
We talked about it, guys. You give Nick Saban the rare needle in a haystack speech. Folks, we're underdogs. They all think we're going to lose. Mm-hmm. You're dead. I mean, that speech comes 3 times the last 12 years. That's how many times you get to do that speech at Alabama. We're an underdog. They're picking against us. And the odds right now are he wins that game on average about 33-10.
Yeah, that's just how it happens. I mean, when you can't give Nick Saban and Alabama billboard material, right? Like, it just never works out great. And I was one of those people that bought in. I bought into Georgia. I bought in to the most points they've given up is 17 all year, and it bit me in the butt. I mean, what was the whole – I mean, how did Georgia's defense look so dominant up until Saturday?
Against an offensive line who've been struggling.
Exactly.
Bryce Young, that one play, Bryce Young had a chance to stop and point out the route change with his hand. Come on. Bryce Young, who can, again, hit a bullseye from 80 yards. It was amazing. They didn't get any pressure on him. They were beat up to the point where Robinson at running back could go, but he wasn't 100%. Trey Sanders, guys, was in a horrific car wreck a couple of years ago. They said he'd never play again.
Mm-hmm.
He was their next running back. So they were beat up there, and it was amazing how they dominated. And I thought, look, I don't know if I'm suggesting this predicts the future, but I thought that vaunted Georgia defensive line hit a breaking point where they quit. And first of all, let me credit them a little bit. They knew that this was not a do or die. Yeah. They knew that they're going to be in, and it was just going to be a seeding adjustment, and the game was getting out of hand. I thought I saw some quit in them, but I don't necessarily think that predicts the finish here.
Mm-hmm. Outside of the SEC, as far as the championship games go from Saturday, which was, I guess, more shocking to you? The fact that Oklahoma State could not score on the 1 yard line in technically 8 plays, back-to-back drives, or just how dominant Michigan was able to look against Iowa?
Yeah, Iowa just can't score the ball. I didn't think it'd be that one-sided, but 14-3 at halftime, that game's over. And I got to hear that game on the way home because I was in Chattanooga for the playoffs. And I got to listen to Eli Gold do the Alabama game for about half of it and then watched it on my phone in the stadium. That's about all I got to see. I saw the Oklahoma State finish. I did see that part where they couldn't get in. And watched a few of the others, but I don't know if there was anything shocking. Baylor's been a good team all year. Dave Aranda's done a very good job. I really wasn't surprised there. Now, when they went for it in their own territory, didn't get it, and Oklahoma State scored, I thought that could be the storyline after the game when they lose. But it didn't cost him.
No, it didn't. But, man, there was I might have seen some sweat on the top of Aranda's bald head there in the final minutes, thinking he's going to have that question coming quite often. Hey, lots of talk about NIL money going into this next offseason. I saw where this Quinn Ewers transferring out of he was at Ohio State, and apparently there's the large set of boosters at Texas that are like going to be paying $50,000 to any offensive lineman on scholarship, but the word here for Ewers is like they're potentially throwing like draft money at him. Is that where we're headed? Yeah,
I mean it's legal. You can't supposedly now. I don't know how they would police it. Supposedly you cannot draw statistics to pay, meaning I'll give you an incentive if you get 10 touchdowns as opposed to apparently you can't base it on stats. But the money's whatever the money is. It could be $10, it could be $10 million. And Quinn Ewers went up there. He got a dealership, a well-known dealership up there to give him a 250 Ford, which was worth $75. Now, right when he hit the portal, that became null and void. He had to turn that car in, the truck in. Man, the guy that owns the dealership tweeted it. I mean, he confirmed it. The truck's with me now. He supposedly had $1.4 million in autograph agreements, but he basically got to go for a semester, hang out, probably not do much, go to practice, know you're not going to play, and collect money, see some pretty co-eds, and then become a free agent and get a freebie transfer. What a life.
He looks like he's working on his mullet more than anything else, but I saw a video of this kid, and he can throw it, on every angle and off both the leg. He really looks terrific. There's rumors going around here in Arkansas that people are trying to put money together to keep Traylon Burks from going into the NFL draft, and I would say, please don't do
Good
that,
luck.
Traylon.
You don't have that much money.
You can't take that kind of a risk. Traylon Burks is going to be a first-round pick. It's different talking about a freshman coming in from the transfer portal.
Let me give you an analogy. Burks is what Jaden Hazelwood should be. We all know, got some recent news there. He has not been that player. 5-star. He's had injuries. He's not been consistent, but he's got that ability. Now, they're a different body type. I'm not saying he'll be as good as Burks, who's so physical and dominant, but he can be a difference maker, big-time wide receiver, if he's right. We just have not seen it yet.
Bill, real quick, I do, because we are getting somewhat close to the end of the segment, I do want to get your opinion on the Miami situation. We just did a segment called Change My Mind, and mine was that Mario Cristobal will not work out in Miami, the fact that you will never be back, and that by 2025, Cristobal will be out. of South Florida. Do you agree with me, or do you have more faith in the now, fourth consecutive Miami guy to take over the program?
I'm more pessimistic than optimistic. Now, I do think he will change their recruiting. What he does is he's a fantastic recruiter. That's not to be debated. Mm-hmm. On the field, day-to-day ops and all that, mediocre to average. And guys, I know you're late. I don't know if you've seen the story, but look it up. There's a local booster, big money lawyer, who proposed over the weekend that they take Coral Gables High School, basically on the property, trash it, and make a on-campus stadium right there. And it's got everybody in a big tizzy. It's pretty funny.
Anything else about maybe like rebuilding a high school for those students? That
where are those kids going to go?
These things.
Well, there's nowhere to put it. That's why they have to. He's proposing they tear down Coral Gables High, interrupt all those ritzy, snobby neighborhoods. That's a very filthy rich area. It is. Put a stadium in there. Imagine that.
They don't want common football folks like us in that area. Come on. There's no way that's going to work.
It is funny sometimes. Billy, we appreciate you, man. It's good talking to you.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
You got it.
Appreciate it, Bill.
Bill/Billy King joining us here on Halftime.
Online has you covered for all the holiday season. More props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your #1 spot for all sports action. Head to our new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus with the promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV to receive your bonus. And it's not just football. BetOnline has pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, even your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all these amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports.